They told me to prepare for the worst. Not gently, not dramatically, just clinically, like it was a statistic, not my child. And here's the thing no one tells you. Sometimes the scariest moments of your life don't come with tears or screams. They come with silence. A silence that forces you to choose what you'll believe when everything feels out of control. I was told my baby might not survive, and I remember thinking, what if that's not the whole truth? Because what if survival isn't just about medicine? What if it's about persistence, love, and showing up even when you're terrified? What if the biggest victories come one breath, 1 gram, 1 day at a time? This story isn't about denying reality. It's about challenging the idea that reality is fixed. 52 days changed everything, not because the fear disappeared, but because faith, teamwork, and resilience showed up louder. So if you've ever been told to lower your expectations, to brace yourself for loss, or to stop hoping, stay with me. What happened next wasn't a miracle you see in movies. It was real, raw, imperfect, and it might completely change the way you see struggle, strength, and what's actually possible. I never imagined that motherhood would begin like this, honestly. When I saw the positive test, everything felt normal, almost boring in the best possible way. Appointments came and went, weeks slipped by, and I kept thinking, okay, life's finally behaving. I pictured myself holding my baby, setting up his room, laughing at my own over-prepared checklists. It felt like one of those stories that start easy, the kind people tell with a soft smile. The name Noah means rest, repose, which sounds almost ironic when I think about those first days, because peace was the one thing missing. What we lived was a strange mix of fear, silence, faith, and hope. One of those emotional cocktails only parents in a neonatal ICU truly understand. Some moments felt heavy and breathless, others strangely calm, like the world was holding its breath with us. And honestly, I was just trying to stay standing. I still remember the exact moment I knew something wasn't right with me. My body started sending signals I couldn't ignore, and suddenly the word preeclampsia entered our lives like an uninvited guest. Things escalated fast, too fast. My health was at risk, and so was my baby's. It felt like we went from everything's fine to we need to act now in the blink of an eye. No warning, no gentle transition, just reality hitting hard. The birth itself was nothing like the pictures people post online. No calm smiles, no celebration vibes. It was tense, quiet, filled with focused professionals, machines, serious faces, and a heart full of prayer. I didn't know what would happen next, only that control was no longer mine. And somehow, right there, in that silence, I felt that our journey was about to get even more intense, especially the moment I would finally see Noah. When Noah was born, I barely had time to really see him. Everything happened so fast it felt unreal, like watching a scene I wasn't fully part of. He was incredibly small, fragile in a way that still tightens my chest when I think about it. There's something about seeing your child like that that breaks every expectation you ever had about strength. And yet, somehow, he was already showing it. My son was born weighing only 960 grams. I wanted to touch him, feel his warmth, hear a strong, loud cry filling the room. That's what you imagine, right? But instead, he was gently and quickly taken away to the neonatal ICU. No long holding, no photos, no moment to process, just a silent understanding that our biggest fight was about to start, and there was no turning back. While Noah fought for his life, I had my own battle happening. I spent 13 days hospitalized, recovering physically but struggling emotionally in ways I didn't know how to name yet. Every single day I walked into the ICU, and every day my heart hurt a little more. Being so close yet unable to care for my son the way I dreamed was a quiet pain, one that stayed with me and prepared me for everything that would follow inside that place. The neonatal intensive care unit carries a kind of emotional weight that's hard to explain unless you've lived it. The constant beeping of monitors, the soft hum of machines, alarms going off at unexpected moments. it all becomes the soundtrack of your days. You see babies so tiny, fighting battles that seem far too big for them, and parents trying to look strong while quietly falling apart inside. It's overwhelming, no doubt about it. And yet, in the middle of all that fear and tension, I found something that changed everything: humanity. From the very first day, Noah wasn't treated like just another case or chart. The nurses spoke to him, touched him with so much care, and handled his fragile body as if he were their own. They explained every detail to me patiently, even when my mind was spinning and my heart was racing. That kindness mattered more than they probably realized. I'll never forget how that welcome shifted my entire perspective. Even when I had to leave the hospital without my son in my arms, day after day, I went home at peace. Because deep down, I knew he was loved, protected, and genuinely cared for. And that certainty gave me strength to face the next day, especially knowing the days ahead would test us in ways we were only beginning to understand. Every single day in the ICU felt like a victory, literally one day at a time. Progress didn't come in big leaps. It came in tiny, almost invisible steps. After birth, Noah lost even more weight, dropping from 960 grams to around 800 grams. And suddenly, every single gram mattered. Numbers on a scale became emotional events, and hope started living in decimals. The first thing we did every day was check his weight. When it went up, even just a little, it felt like winning the lottery. I remember thinking, my son is the smallest one here, but wow, he's a fighter. There was something powerful in watching someone so tiny refuse to give up. And that resilience, quiet but steady, slowly began teaching us how to breathe again. My husband was going through his own silent struggle. At first, he was afraid to even touch Noah, afraid of hurting him, afraid of doing something wrong, afraid of making everything worse. That fear was heavy, almost paralyzing. But it was clear that this journey wasn't just about our son surviving. It was about all of us learning how to be brave in a situation that gave us no manual at all. But the ICU team made all the difference. No exaggeration there. They didn't just treat Noah, they guided us. Step by step, question by question, they showed us what to do, and more importantly, what not to fear. They taught us that a parent's touch heals too, that love can pass through wires, monitors, and machines. Suddenly, care wasn't something only professionals could give. Little by little, we found our courage to touch his tiny hands, to talk to him, to sing softly, even when our voices trembled. Those moments felt small, but they were huge for us. It was like reclaiming a piece of our role as parents, one gentle gesture at a time. And somehow, in that controlled chaos, hope started to feel a bit more solid. One of the hardest parts was finding reliable information. The internet has everything, except peace of mind. With every doubt, every fear, the team was there, answering honestly, calming us down, never sugarcoating, but always human. And when all you want to know is whether your child will be okay, that kind of support changes everything. It also opens the door to the questions no parent ever wants to ask themselves. Today, Noah weighs over 2 kilos. He's home, sleeping peacefully, wrapped in love, like nothing extraordinary ever happened. Sometimes I watch him breathe and think, how did we get here? It almost feels unreal, like a story I heard once and somehow became part of. But every tiny movement, every calm nap, carries the weight of everything we lived and everything we survived. When I look at him now, it's hard to believe those days in the neonatal ICU were real, yet the invisible scars tell a powerful story of resilience. I often call the nurses angels in aprons because that's exactly what they were to us. With steady hands and gentle words, they made the impossible feel routine. Every goodbye at the end of the day hurt. Every trip home felt heavy, but faith never really left me. And if you're watching this right now, maybe walking a similar road, I want you to hear this clearly. It works out. It's not easy, far from it, but it works out. Premature babies are little warriors, and with love, care, and faith, they surprise the world. Noah's story isn't just about survival. It's about humanity, teamwork, and unconditional love. And that realization quietly prepares the ground for what this story truly means beyond us.
Now, let me ask you something. What are you believing about your own life right now? Are you trusting the first diagnosis, the first opinion, the first fear that shows up? Or are you allowing yourself to believe that things can shift, slowly, quietly, one day at a time? Because this journey taught me that progress isn't loud, and strength doesn't always look heroic. Sometimes it just looks like not giving up today. If you're going through something hard, don't rush the process, but don't underestimate your role in it either. Show up, ask questions, touch, talk, love, even when you're scared. What feels small today may be the exact thing that changes everything tomorrow. And maybe the real question isn't, will things work out, but who will I become while I wait? So tell me, what part of this story spoke to you the most? Have you lived something similar? Or are you facing a challenge right now that no one really sees? Share your story in the comments because your voice matters here. And if you want to keep learning, feeling inspired, and remembering that you're not alone, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. This space is for stories that heal, and the next one might be exactly what you need.